Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. By now we have established, you and I, that we love to talk negatively about watches we can afford and can't get anyway. So why deny ourselves this pleasure when Patek comes out with a Tiffany dial right after Rolex does a Tiffany dial, but not signed by Tiffany, but looking like a Tiffany anyway. Nautilus, the watch that Thierry Stern didn't want to be the image of Patek, and he's doing his damned hardest to be the only thing that people think about when they think of Patek. So it's really a bizarre move. It's just a handful of watches, 170, which is even worse. It creates such a buzz. So it will be retailed by Tiffany in the US, hard to get, and they're gonna auction one at Philips right off the bat this time. And you're gonna tell me, yeah, but it's for charity. But hold on, it's not exactly going to a charity feeding the kids in need. It's going to an environmental charity. And what's the $1 million? Maybe if the watch goes in auction to $1 million or whatever. What's $1 million gonna do to save the environment? It's gonna do very well for the image of Patek for their 2021 2022 target to be environmentally friendly, sustainable. But really, as smell a rat, I think it's just bullshit. Why don't you give $1 million straight away to environmental conservation things, whatever, and auction this and feed the children? That would be a bit more respectable. I don't really buy this auction thing. I think they just want to set a crazy price themselves. But the thing with auctions, there's always the buzz, and it attracts big money. People who just don't know what to do with their money anymore. I don't think it's the true reflection of the market. And when I see some of my watches going into auction at really high prices, I'm thinking, damn, maybe I should sell my watches through Philips auctioneers as well. But anyway, the watch itself, oh, I forgot to mention, I find it incredibly ugly. Don't you think? It looks like a bad Seiko. To be honest, I prefer some Seikos to this Nautilus Tiffany. Of course, if I was offered to purchase it, well, it's 50 grand. They've even inflated to a crazy amount the retail price for it. But yeah, maybe I would scrap the money, but just to sell it. And it goes to show people are going to buy it to sell it, going to buy it to flip it. That's the other thing that you associate Patek with now. People were buying a Patek for life. That was the whole shtick of Patek. You keep it for the next generation, and now you just buy it to flip it. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about the Tiffany co-signed Tiffany dial Nautilus. I don't find it attractive at all. I think it's just look at me watch, which is again, and we've talked about this before, not what a Patek Philippe is about, and Thierry Stern knows it. I don't know what he comes up with the olive dial color, which is pretty much the Rolex signature dial that they did long before Patek, and why they come up with this Tiffany 170 pieces limited edition. It just goes against the whole point that they were trying to make by discontinuing the 5711. Now, the other day I was walking in a Causeway Bay here in Hong Kong, and then went into a shop that has a lot of different brands. And at the back of the shop, they always have some new old stock Pateks. And first I spotted the 5960 blue dial, very cool watch. It's a more practical multi-complication watch because it's automatic. You've got the power reserve, loom, and you get the full calendar, but not the moon phase. So there's a compromise there. You get the chronograph, but you don't have actual running seconds. You have to leave the chronograph on. So it's another little compromise you have to make. But it is a fairly practical watch. Otherwise, when you compare to the grand complications, and speaking of which, they had a grand complication. So the 5960, they were asking about 50 grand US for it. The next to it, they had mint, new old stock. They still have the box and everything. 5270 yellow gold, absolutely gorgeous. I love to try on these watches. That one just amazing. And they were asking 1.1 and something million Hong Kong dollar, which is 140 grand, something like that. But the weirdest thing, the sickening thing is that in the back they also had the brand new steel green dial 5905. So the 5905 is a bit like the 5960. It's the same type of complication, flyback chronograph, annual calendar. It's a bit different. You got a 60-minute counter only. So it's a very clean dial. And I have to say, although the green is starting to make me a bit sick, it is a very beautiful dial. But the watch in person is as bulky as I thought it was going to be. It has that huge bracelet from, I think it's taken from the Aquanaut, and the lugs are very bulky. So it's not a very elegant watch, and it's fairly thick as well. So quite un-Patek like. And the price. So I had just had in my hand 5270, 140 grand, which I think it is worth it. It is absolutely gorgeous. And the movement in there, it is a next level movement. It's a Patek's own chronograph, and it's on top of it they have their own perpetual calendar module. Just a fantastic lateral clutch movement. The 5905, the store was asking 1.35 million Hong Kong dollar, or 175,000 US dollar more than for the grand complication. And the guy, I was laughing. I was asking the guy, "You really think somebody's going to pay that?" And I was asking him what his cost was, how much he had paid, and he was telling me that he was not taking a big margin. So when the watch came out, I told you, I wasn't sure actually that it would work, that people would actually care for that 5905 in steel, in that configuration. You know, it is very bulky, it is not elegant and slim like the Nautilus. And well, prove me wrong, maybe somebody will pay 3 times the price to get that watch. But I'm not so sure, to be honest. And well, I can only hope that dealers like that guy will get burnt paying up to get these watches in the store. And again, let me know in the comment what you think about the 5905. In person, I was really not impressed. I didn't take a picture of it, by the way. I'm using stock pictures. But it's because it was still completely sealed, and the guy didn't really barely wanted to show it to me. And yeah, it's 50 grand, 60 grand watch, which I think is already overpriced, to be honest. And now they're asking 175 grand. Let me know what you think about all that. The funniest thing is that I was wearing a Tissot PRX, the blue dial, which I love, which is so slim and elegant, closer to what a Nautilus is. And the guy was actually asking me, as he was showing me a priceless watch, how I got the blue dial of the Tissot PRX. You see, that's watch guys for you, dealers. The hype is everywhere in the very affordable watches, in the very expensive watches. It's a bit silly. People seem to forget what is beautiful, what brands are standing for. And in the end, I kind of felt happy with my PRX, and didn't feel so bad. I did feel bad not to be able to purchase the 5270, because that is most definitely my grail, that and the 5204. Those grand complications are just, in person, this is nothing more beautiful than that. But 5905, the Nautilus, Um, Tiffany, honestly, I find those absolutely quite hideous. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Bye bye.